Welcome to this episode of In the Garage with Dennis. We're here at the 58th annual Portland Roadster Show in my hometown of Portland, Oregon. We're gonna have a great show today, take a peek around and look at some great cars, including to talk to one of my friends, John D'Agostino. Now we do want to make sure and thank our sponsors, Royal Purple, the performance oil that outperforms, and our friends at Craftsman Tools. If you get a chance, make sure and go to our website, InTheGarageWithDennis.com. You can find our Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter pages, and follow along on my antics all around the beautiful cities and around the Pacific Northwest. Guess what? The show starts right now.
I'm David Jothan. We're here at the Portland Expo Center for the 58th annual Portland Roadster Show. Portland Roadster Show started in 1956 with the formation of the Multnomah Hot Rod Council, which was formed by D. Westcott and then Mayor Terry Shrunk as a way to get the high school kids that were drag racing on the streets of Portland. They had car clubs back then, but the council formed to try to pull these car clubs together, get the kids kind of a little bit under control, and then it spawned the Portland Roadster Show from there. Portland Roadster Show, the first few years was at what was called the Armory, the Portland Armory building, an old wooden building with poor lighting. Moved around to several other, I can't remember the second location, but it actually then moved to the Multnomah County Fairgrounds, which used to be in Gresham, Oregon at the time. Then until 5 years ago, we were at the Portland Convention Center. And then for the last 5 years, we've been here at the Portland Expo Center, which has been a fantastic venue for us. We have cars this year from, a number of cars from Canada. We've had a lot of Canadian exhibitors the last few years. We've got cars from Nevada, Texas. I think the farthest car this year might be Texas, but we've had cars that have competed at Detroit Autorama and been grade 8 vehicles too. Well, it is a true family event. We have a Napa Ron Capps funny car simulator. There's some other car driving simulators throughout the facility. Portland Community College actually has a virtual reality paint booth where you put on a little hood, you hold a paint gun, and they test you on your ability to paint a fender. But there's face painting for kids and lots of neat vendors as well. To me, the one reason is that we're the only all-volunteer show in the country, and the proceeds, we support a lot of different charities throughout the area. It's just that see this many cars in one, over 460 vehicles in one location, and the knowledge to know that the people that are putting this show on are volunteers and the money is going to do good things.
I'm John D'Agostino, custom car builder designer out of Discovery Bay, California. I come to the Portland Roadster Show because I think it's a great world-class show. I travel around the world, and when I come to Portland, I see cars that can actually be at some of the big shows like the Detroit Show and the Grand National, and I consider Portland Roadster Show to be right up with those shows in America. This year, I built a 1970 Cadillac El Dorado. And why I built that car is because when I was growing up in the late 60s, early 70s, I always wanted to buy a Cad Eldo, but my father bought me a 1970 Pontiac Grand Prix instead. And I brought it to one of my local custom builders to paint the car, which is Art Hemsel. And I told Art, I said, one of these days, I want to build a 70 Cad Eldo, because they're just, the way they're designed from the factory, I want to restyle them and make it really a show car. So what I did, I brought back my roots. My first brand new car was a 70 Grand Prix. I went to a 70 Cad Eldo called the Conquistador 2, all done in metal flake. Because the first custom paint job I had was with metal flake back in 1970. Basically, first off, I got to say the paint. The paint is remarkable. Anybody that comes to this show is going to stop and look at that car. And to me, it's an LA glitz car. It's a car that belongs on Sunset Boulevard, and which down the line it probably will be on Sunset. And I just like the car because of the subtle body changes, the custom taillights, the custom headlights, all the drip rails, the chop top, which is done into a flow chop. We didn't actually chop the windshield area, but we brought the whole top down 2 inches from the Landau top. The car's completely molded, nose decked, has a lot of trick stuff on the leading edge of the hood, leading edge of the trunk, the bottom of the front fenders. A lot of little custom touches, but it's just more of a glamour, glitz car, Hollywood style. Actually, Travis Barker, who's a famous musician, Blink-182, he started years ago, is interested in the car. Why he's interested is because actually about 4 or 5 years ago, he bought one of my cars. He purchased one called the El Conquistador. It was a chop top 67 El Dorado built by Oz Welch and Gene Winfield. Now this is a 70 El Dorado, which is the same body style, but the last year they made them. So he wants bookends. So now that he owns the El Conquistador, he looks like he wants to purchase a Conquistador too. And I think once he sees the car in person, which he's only seen in pictures, he is going to go crazy over the car. He's definitely going to want the car.
All right, that's going to wrap up this segment of In the Garage with Dennis right here at 58th Annual Portland Roadster Show. We'll see you in the next segment. All right, that was a great segment. We had a lot of fun. Stay tuned for our tips, tricks, and reviews coming up next. Whenever the engine in your car is running, it's burning the gas and leaving behind power-robbing deposits. Think about it. There are constant explosions taking place in your engine caused by igniting fuel. The residue is carbon and it needs to be cleaned. Just like the ductwork in your home, the air vents get clogged up with dust, letting less air flow through them. Your intake valves and intake ports get clogged up with carbon, and that can rob your motor of power. This is nothing more than an air pump. Fuel and air come in, it is sparked and then expelled from the motor. Think of it like the shower head in your home. If it gets clogged up with lime, you have a shower that all of a sudden felt like you were in a waterfall to just a little trickle. You clean out the lime deposits and you get your shower back. Max Clean does the same thing for your engine. It cleans out the carbon, restoring your efficiency, your fuel mileage, and more important, your performance. Do you want acceleration when you put your foot onto the gas pedal? Well, it's not going to respond well if those fuel injectors are clogged. It restores horsepower, improves fuel economy, and significantly reduces emissions. Keeping your fuel system clean will extend the life of your engine and keeping running at peak performance. The best part is Max Clean is this easy to use. Pouring a 6-ounce can into your tank before you top off your tank will last for about 3,000 miles. Or to cover you for 10,000 miles, use the 20-ounce can each time you refuel. Thank you so much for spending time with this episode of The Garage with Dennis. We want to make sure and thank our sponsors, Royal Purple, the performance oil that outperforms, and our friends at Craftsman. Make sure you go to craftsman.com and you too can become a Craftsman Club member. Want to know more about what we're doing? Go to inthegaragewithdennis.com. You can find our Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram photos, and we will see you in the next episode.